I'm Tommy Clowniak. Well, that's how I refer to myself. I mean, who would take Thomas Andrews seriously? I work as a cleaner. Not a house nor a street cleaner, neither is this an actual job. It's more of a hobby of sorts. To put it bluntly, I clean people. Not literally. How do I put it? I get rid of certain people. I get rid of all the people who pollute our beautiful world with their immeasurable stupidity. I clean those who do not deserve to live. I was inspired by my idol. Nobody knows who she is, or so I thought. It took me years to figure out who she is. Now I know all about her. She cleaned a bunch of morons a few years ago with real skill and grace. They were 5 in number. Her story was even on the news, and ever since I've heard of her, I wanted to be just like her. Strong and capable. Eventually, I found out she was literal an angel. Man, I even took up Kusarigama lessons online just so I can clean up people with a unique weapon. I've decided to make use of a Kusarigama because nobody uses that. No one even knows what it is here in Scotland, most likely. I wanted it to be special and unique, just like my idol. I could not stand being like those other lousy cleaners that do the same thing over and over. My need to be unique was also the reason I'm wearing this clown-like makeup whenever I go out to clean. It's also why I dyed half my hair purple. Sure, the fools at school laugh at me, but we'll see who gets the last laugh when the time comes for me to clean them too. Before writing this, I was on my way to meet her, and I was super excited. Well, I made it to the crematorium, she's working, and I opened up the door really quietly. I was hoping to surprise her, but she heard me and called out, "How can I help?" Her voice was soft and delicate, so charming. But there was something off about it. I couldn't help but stutter. I was so excited, mind you. Hello, Miss O'Reilly? She turned her attention from the corpse she was bent over and turned herself toward me. God, she was so beautiful. The sight of this angel in front of me made my harden and caused my skinny jeans to go tighter around my area. Hell, another one of those, sighed my idol as she noticed the black body-tight attire and clown-like makeup. Her green eyes were enchanting, and the way her dark brown hair was collected in a high ponytail. This woman in front of me, she was perfection. Even the way her lab coat draped around her frame. Jesus Christ, she was giving me a full-blown the moment I managed to get a full glimpse of her unearthly beauty. Once I felt my skinny jeans tighten even more than before, I quickly covered it with a hand. The awkwardness of this could have spoiled my plans for her. "What do you want, kiddo?" continued my idol. Her question prompted me to answer with utmost ecstasy. "I'm a big fan of yours, Miss O'Reilly. I find it amazing. I mean what you did. I kill retards just like you." "Let me guess. Your parents weren't always nice to you?" asked me this angel in response. "Oh my God, yes. How did you know? Mom used to beat me shitless when I was a little kid and kept saying I was a little shit and I couldn't sit still for a moment. What was I supposed to do with the fact that my head was always racing? And my dad, that scumbag, I began to stutter once more. "Well, what's with him?" She cut me off. Usually people who cut me off get a piece of their flesh cut off by me. But with her, I didn't care. She was just too bloody perfect to even consider hurting. "He was an alcoholic who raped me a few times, and I was his son. Imagine what would have happened if I was his daughter. Terrifying, ain't it?" "Lovely," called out the masterpiece of a woman that made my blood rush all the way to my... Her tone made it sound like she was being sarcastic. I mean, if I hadn't known any better, I'd believe she was mocking me. She continued, "Did the other kids bully you too, eh?" "Oh, wow, Miss O'Reilly, you're a genius. Yes, they did. They laughed at me for my hair and bullied me over the old man being a fucking alcoholic who sold their souls for his booze. They also bullied me for the way I limped for you, you know, what that old man did," I told her gleefully. Suddenly, this marvelous creature began laughing. Her laughter wasn't evil or psychotic like the media would portray her, as if they knew who she was. It was pure, beautiful, filled with raw pleasure. The sound of her laughter made me lose all my senses. I felt blank throb in my skinny jeans and then felt the sudden cold wetness of my area slowly spreading about. I came back crashing and burning back into reality. The realization of what just happened might have ruined everything for me. Luckily, it seemed like she didn't notice what had happened. She just stopped laughing and abrupted my catastrophic train of thought by saying calmly, "Let me guess. You've killed them all?" She dramatically waves her hand in the air. Her beautiful voice, It made my embarrassment go away and I joyfully screamed, "Yes, yes, I killed them all!" I lowered my tone and said, "Well, except for Mom. I still need that bitch. Here's what I used, by the way," I said as I proudly pulled out my Japanese weapon from my belt. Once it was out for my heroine to see, I called out joyously, "It's all thanks to you. I wanted to be unique and special just like you, Miss O'Reilly." "You're not, though. You're not really special. A lot of kids like you had some rough time come to me saying this stuff to me. You are not the first, and unfortunately, not the last little fool who will come here and proclaim how the best thing to do about their problems was to murder. You see, I've been bullied too, for the reason you seem to be so comedically attracted to me, my mess of a personality. I'm not really normal, true, but I wouldn't call it a disease. It's a bunch of conditions that will cause your little brain to explode if I had decided to explain them to you. I didn't kill those fools for being a bunch of cunts. I did it because they kidnapped my dog and tried to blackmail me. And on top of that, they would probably end up worse than me. I mean, what kind of sane person mutilates a dog's corpse as a joke? Trust me, kiddo, you don't want to be like me." Once my goddess finished her little speech, I felt tears begin to creep down my cheeks. She made me feel just like my mom does. It feels like my mom was yelling at me how retarded I was over and over again. I felt horrible. I don't really have a conscience or emotions. Well, for the most part. Pleasure is definitely there, but as a result of unique brain composition. All of this is a reason I'm working on these fellows here. She continued speaking, and she grabbed the hand of a corpse she was about to cremate and waved it at me. It began raining at this point. I could hear raindrops hitting the roof of the crematorium. It was like God knew I was crying and decided to send a rain so I wouldn't feel like a complete loser. The tears streamed faster down my tears, and I started once more. Sorry, Miss O'Reilly. I just wanted to special and wanted to me those useless cum buckets to get what they deserve. But you're not. You're not special like that. There are a shit ton of other kids like you who want to be spooky white faces, no eyelids, and never-healing Glasgow grin running all over with knives pretending to be the devil. If you want to be original, how about becoming a goth fashion designer? Or maybe start a metal band consisting of dudes wearing goth dresses. Something like that. No, do me a favor. Go home and stop doing stupid things. Even though the likes of you made my wallet swell recently, said my heroine. At this point, I was already visibly crying like a little girl. Devastated, my idol stared at me for a second as my makeup began to smear, and she asked, "Tell me, boy, how old are you?" "I'm 16, Miss O'Reilly," I cried. She moved her head from side to side in obvious disagreement and said, "My mother is Miss O'Reilly. I'm Ruby. How old do you think I am?" "Never mind. Just go home." I knew my plans for her were ruined. I didn't impress her. I was just another retard who wasted her angelic time. I lowered my head in shame and left the building, quietly closing the door behind me. I guess I didn't notice how wet the pavement had gotten at that moment. I stepped out of the crematorium and I slipped and fell flat on my face. I felt a shock run through my head, chin upward. I turned over to my back and grasped my face to smooth the pain of the blow. I felt warm liquid caress the palm of my hand, and I looked at it and noticed my own blood. Now I'm laying here, drenched in rain, tears, and my own blood. I hope to bleed to death. I have no reason to live anymore, now that my meeting with this beautiful devil left me in nothing but shattered dreams. Fuck. Now I have blood smeared all over my iPhone. I'm such a fucking retard.